Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. There's way less of a delay with our new software, but there's still like a tiny bit of one. And
it keeps freaking you out?
Just a teeny bit.
It's freaking you out a teeny bit?
But it's great that there's less of a delay.
Yeah, we're Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm Dan.
I'm Lex.
We're your hosts. Apparently, I guess. I figure you probably figured that out already. We are a weekly video game news podcast, broadcasting on chipbit.net, Chipbit Radio. We bring you live from 7 to 8 p.m. on Fridays all the video game news we can scrounge together and talk about. And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. You tried to jump in there.
I was trying to jump in. On Steam. On... Oh god, no, I can't remember them.
I already said Twitter.
YouTube.
YouTube and iTunes. Those are the ones. That's the 5.
You can also check out our archive.
One whole hand of social media locations.
The hand of social media.
The hand of social media.
But yeah, you can also check out our show archive on www.chipbit.net.
Yes, you can.
Where we broadcast from.
Yep. And today, what are we talking about? We have some leftover articles from last week that we wanted to get to, but we had a ton of stuff to get to last week. We have a little bit of Kickstarter news, which we like to try and do. We have some announcements, some pre-E3 announcements.
Yeah, there were several release dates.
Yeah,
that came up. There were several
and game announcements.
Yeah,
prior to E3,
which was surprising.
Especially one game in particular that I expected to see at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got some news about general industry stuff. We have some information, Gamestop, a recent Gamestop acquisition, as well as Steam Machines. That was the other one I was trying to think of. Steam Machines. We have Steam Machine information. And then a lot of stuff just about just like individual games and news related to that.
A big purchase that happened.
Yep, that's big. And then we're going to finish off with just general video game news and some look at what's coming out in the next few weeks, which is generally what we like to do. So yeah, first off, let's go into what we had from last week. Why don't you get us into that, Lex?
All right. In an article published on Polygon on May 27th, we discovered that Twitch is banning adults-only rated games from streaming.
No! There's only 20-something of them.
There's 26, Dan. I counted. Although there's only one that I care about, and that's Leisure Suit Larry. The fact that no one can stream that anymore is a crime.
Which Leisure Suit? Which Leisure Suit Larry game is rated adults only? I didn't know that any of them were. Oh, that's right, in Hatred got...
Okay, then that's what I want to talk about in a minute. Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude,
uncut and uncensored.
So it's a
very uncensored version
of the normal
game, right?
Vivendi, that's who made Leisure Suit. I didn't know that was the company that did that.
I didn't know that either.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, still up here.
That is so absurd. That's still up there.
Dan, you could kill prostitutes in that game.
No, but that's not the reason.
No, I know.
It's the hot coffee mod.
Mm-hmm.
Get hot coffee. You could do it.
That was a big deal when it happened.
A fairy tale of the two.
A lot of these are Playboy games.
Wait, was that Indigo Prophecy?
Yeah, Indigo Prophecy, the special cut. Director's cut. Because there's just a lot of nudity and sexual content, along with the violence and drugs and stuff.
Sure, okay.
Whatever. The unrated version. The Joy of Sex.
The Joy of Sex. For the CDI.
Philips Media.
Why did Philips put out a Joy of Sex game on the CDI console? Was that... I want to think that was the only game that came out on the CDI aside from Legend of Zelda. It was just those two. Those were your options.
Wet the Sexy Empire. That's a great title.
All nude cyber. All nude glamour. cyber photographer.
All made by MacDaddy
Entertainment. That sounds like a mark of quality.
Yep.
That we can trust.
Anyway, so
it's like
a lot
Nintendo,
of these...
You get the MacDaddy seal of quality on your game.
So, I mean, the idea with all these games is that they're all on here because of sexual content.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except for Hatred.
Which actually has no sexual content.
It's just really gory.
Really unnecessarily violent and offensive.
And the Twitch's decision to ban AO games...
Was that from Hatred specifically?
Well, a lot of people are pretty sure that's why, because they...
Because that just came out.
They made that decision like a couple days before Hatred came out.
Right. So they clearly didn't want
people
Hatred
streaming.
being streamed.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be streamed.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the thing.
It's interesting, though, that nobody... Like, was anyone streaming Leisure Suit Larry? And, like, nobody cared?
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
If there was one person who was like, I'm streaming Leisure Suit Larry 24/7.
Or someone who only streamed adults-only games. They just chose from that.
Poor person. That poor man or woman. Maybe they were a team. A crack squad of AO gamers.
Oh man, BMX XXX.
Oh, I forgot about that game. Wait, it prohibits... Twitch exclusively names 3 games that they banned: Manhunt 2, Fahrenheit, Indigo Prophecy, Director's Cut, and Hatred. The company also prohibits titles like Second Life, BMX XXX, and Sakura Spirit from being streamed based on their content. Sakura Spirit is like a really shoddy visual novel in like anime art style that has no actual nudity in it.
Does it have card captors in it?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, it does not. That took me a second. No, it's like a super tame, like, fan service. Like, terrible visual novel.
Alright.
I don't understand why that's there. Like, BMX XXX is also kind of like, who cares? It's just BMX bikes, but sometimes people aren't wearing shirts. That's all it is.
That's all it is?
Although I guess you could unlock videos of strippers in that game.
Oh.
Like, I'm pretty sure now that I think that was, like, your unlockable reward, is you got, like, live footage of strippers.
Like live action footage?
Yeah.
Oh.
From, like, in a strip club.
That's weird.
Isn't that super weird?
It is weird.
Actually, I remember because I read an article about it before it came out years ago. And they were like, you unlock real footage of strippers. And that was, like, their selling point.
Oh, so I guess it's important to note that prior to this, if there was going to be a stream that had any kind of sexual content or ridiculous violence on it, it had the old porn website standby. When you went to
Are you 18?
Yeah, it had that. And then you could click yes, and then you could watch the stream. Now, I should also note that Twitch has always had the rule that if streamers in their video feeds had any nudity, that was no good. They couldn't do that. Right. And I think if they could cross the line in other ways in terms of language, like threatening language.
Getting racist or something.
Yeah, but it was like the games were never monitored in that way. So now they are, and I guess, it seems more consistent. I kind of already thought they had this.
Well, I kind of assumed it too, just because as far as adults-only games go, you just never hear about them anyway.
Yeah.
Most of them nobody cares about.
Actually, now, if anything, you'd think that the online stream community would be the only way that adults-only games would get any kind of press or notoriety.
Yeah.
Because you don't see them in stores.
No.
Because that's not going to happen.
God, no.
So I almost feel bad for Leisure Suit Larry now.
There's plenty of Leisure Suit Larry games you can buy.
MacDaddy Entertainment are never going to have their day.
I think that they've been gone for a long time already. I have a hunch. So yeah, Twitch. I'm not going to say good job, but I'm also not going to say how dare you. I guess my only response to that is, okay. Sure.
You know what I'll say?
Did it play?
It did play.
I can't hear it.
Dan doesn't have a way of monitoring
I don't
the
have
audio.
a monitor on our audio. We have new technology for our broadcasting,
we have a
so
soundboard.
We can use sound effects.
You can listen to these awful cats.
We've got a real good selection right now.
Three
things from
Turtles in Time.
3
things from Mega Man X, one of which is way too long.
We'll never use it.
And then a cameo.
Just a horrible cat. What's our next article?
Yeah, let's go back to that. Okay, so another quick article from last week or the week before.
Lizard Squad, you guys know them.
We've talked about them before.
Remember
They're horrible.
They suck.
They're really bad.
They're obnoxious and annoying.
On May 21st, we had an article in Ars Technica talking about how a Canadian teen has pled guilty to 23 charges of swatting, harassment, online game rivals. Harassment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no one would have expected a Canadian.
I know, right? They're so mild.
So mild-mannered and polite. But yeah, this 17-year-old kid pled guilty to 23 charges of swatting and false police reports. Targeted his online opponents in the video game League of Legends.
Of course, League of Legends.
Of course it was League of Legends.
Oh, God.
Does that surprise anybody?
No. So what he would do, and this is especially terrible, is he would...
young female gamers.
Specifically, like, college or high school students.
Who declined his friend request.
Yeah, he'd friend these young girls, and then if they declined his friend request...
He would call a SWAT team?
Well, not initially. First, he would dig up all of their personal information and post it online.
Which is the logical first step.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's what I do when people don't want to be my friend.
Just put their personal info online. Luckily, no one follows you on Twitter.
I steal their credit cards.
Yeah.
You know.
But, so he would do that. He would send he would make phone calls to their place of residence. He would send them lots of emails, stuff like that, to harass them. And then he would sometimes call in SWAT teams on them. We've already talked about swatting in past episodes. I don't want to go over it all again now, so I would suggest you look it up online, but it's horrible.
Yeah.
So he was doing this to people mostly in the U.S., specifically Arizona. But there was a woman who was at the University of Arizona who dropped out because she was just harassed by him so much, and all of her personal information got posted, and she didn't feel safe. So he was doing that for a couple of years, and he was part of the Lizard Squad apparently. So he says. So June 29th is when he's getting sentenced. But yeah, he's pled guilty to 23 counts. I don't know. I assume he'll be charged as a minor because I assume Canadians' laws on minors is the same age limit as the U.S., probably, which is 18. Also, judging by how quickly court system stuff usually works, he probably committed most of these crimes when he was even younger than this, so probably 15 or 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be charged as a minor, I guess, because he is one, but...
you listen, the way the report described the teen's apparently remorseless appearance at the Wednesday hearing, saying that he showed little emotion during the proceeding, often flipped his hair, drummed his fingers on his knees, or pumped his leg quickly.
Oh my god, he probably has emo hair, too?
Probably. This description doesn't make him sound like some kind of, remorseless swatting machine to me. It just makes him sound like a jerk teenager.
Exactly. I feel like
who doesn't understand or care about the consequences of his actions. He probably has some kind of... He sounds like he's an antisocial kind of... He sounds like he's pretty antisocial, and he sounds like he probably spends a lot of time on his computer. If this is what he's doing most of the time, he posted an 8-hour stream of him making fake bomb threats and things like that.
Oh yeah, they presented as evidence him bragging on streams in YouTube about doing this stuff.
So he's clearly... It strikes me as he's a teenager who wants attention however he can get it, and doesn't really care if he's doing bad things at this point. It's I don't think you can make it much more than that, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of how it is. But I do want to say that I think this brings up an interesting look into these Lizard Squad guys, because I've always kind of thought these aren't... the way people make them sound is they're this master team of hackers who, they're out to get you, and they have this master plan. But they don't. The reality of it is most of them are probably just like this kid.
Just weird teenagers living in Canada.
They're all living in Canada, for sure.
For sure.
But, no, they're awkward, computer-savvy teens who don't have anything better to do.
Just like making fun of people.
They don't have anything better. Maybe they feel bad for themselves, and that's how they get over it. Maybe they just feel like being jerks. But I don't think any of them are, like, sociopathic maniacs, and I don't think any of them are some kind of, like, masterminds. I think they're just teens screwing around.
They're not masterminds, they're not maniacs, they're probably not over 20.
They're probably not over 20, but, so, I feel like it can also be projected onto the things where it's like, all these death threats leveled at people in the gaming community, like games journalists, and all the, like, Gamergate stuff. A lot of the people making those death threats are probably, like, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying, I think that people should be aware of that, because the way it's been presented a lot, I think it's being presented in such a way that there's this huge group of older, supposedly learned people who are so against these things and are, like, fighting against it, when really I think it's just a bunch of jerk-off teenagers.
Yeah, because
for the most part.
There is a big difference between harassing someone when you're a teenager and harassing someone when you're a grown butt adult.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when you're a grown butt adult...
A grown butt adult.
Listen, if we wanted to stream this on Twitch, we'd have to watch ourselves. So if you're an adult, like, you should know better. Right. So when you're doing things like that, it's worse. But if you're a kid, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Right?
Teenagers are stupid.
They're really dumb.
We were teenagers. Were you stupid when you were a teenager? I was.
Brandon really was.
Oh, yeah. We us and our friends, we were really stupid as teenagers. I don't think any of us did anything this bad.
No.
But I know a lot of teenagers who did, or who do. So I think we need to look at this through a lens, not so much the supervillain hacker lens, and more how can we help these jerk teenagers stop being jerks? Because nothing good will get done about it unless people realize what's really kind of going on and where it's really coming from. And I think that the blame's being misattributed a lot with this kind of thing. And I'll reiterate, that doesn't mean I approve of anything they're doing. They're jerks.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stop. But, I don't know.
Moving on. So, we usually like to talk about Kickstarter.
We do. And today we're talking about a Kickstarter that has been going for like 3 weeks already. And has already made almost 7 times its goal.
Now, if you are into Metroidvania games, you've probably already heard of this Kickstarter, but we're going to go over it really quick. It is called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
It's by Koji Igarashi, who's the guy who, like, made
Castlevania.
He made Metroidvania like a thing.
Yeah.
Like, he made Symphony of the Night, and all, like, the subsequent Castlevania games in that style.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the original Castlevania style, which was less RPG-ish and exploration-based, and more just like, beat the level with your whip. Still great, though. So this game is pretty much a spiritual successor to Castlevania.
Now this is, and we're going to talk about Mighty Number 9 a little later, but this is another example, and kind of like how we were talking about, what's it called? Ukulele.
Yes.
The other week.
Where like original creators of something.
Trying to make a game within this genre that game companies don't want to make.
Yes.
But the creators are saying, like, no, people are still interested in this because they clearly are.
Yeah.
But the companies still won't make it, so the creators decide to make a new IP with the same gameplay style, so it's basically a sequel, and put it on Kickstarter.
Precisely.
And so far, every time a creator has done that, they've made, like, buckets of money. And this is no exception. Its pledge total, its goal was 500,000,
and it has made 3,415,000.
And it still has 7 days left, so who knows how high it could go?
Yep, almost 42,000 backers. So yeah, this game is to Castlevania as ukulele is to Banjo-Kazooie, and as Mighty Number 9 is to Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Get the same deal. It looks good. The art style's nice. Got kind of like a painted, cel-shaded look. It's a side-scrolling action RPG, like you would expect. And it looks great. If you're interested at all in Metroidvania stuff, check it out. It's pretty cool.
They've blown past like a million of their stretch goals because they're so much higher.
Jeez.
So there's going to be retro level, there's going to be classic mode, there's going to be more boss stuff, there's going to be
tons of music
stuff, there's going to be a Wii U port.
Yeah,
that was just 3 million, yeah.
And if they get up to 3.5 million, which they're really close to, there's also going to be a Vita port as well.
And that would be cool.
And I found another little article about that, how they had gotten past their Wii U goal here and gotten up to the Vita. And then past that, they got orchestrated tracks.
Oh, they're going to have online multiplayer.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's really cool.
And then it shows a little 4 million thing, but it's still in the darkness.
Huh.
So we might see what that is. Maybe.
There was, so the Wii U thing, very cool.
Yes.
It'll be great to have the Wii, especially if that game is good, and I'm sure it will be.
It looks cool.
It'll be great that the Wii U will have that.
Exactly, and I've been keeping an eye on lots of Wii U games like that. I mean, like, a lot of Kickstarter games have been coming out on the Wii U, like Shovel Knight did, and I know there's some other stuff geared to do it, and Yuka and Laylee's going to be out on the Wii U as well. So, I've been using my Wii U a lot for that kind of thing, so if this comes out on the Wii U, I'm totally going to snag it, because I like those games a lot.
Totally.
It's really cool.
Alright.
Did you click the cat sound again?
I just did. Moving on to the biggest news of the week. If you haven't heard about this and you care about video games, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're a fool. I don't know how you missed this. This is on June 3rd. There was a big announcement. We got a trailer
that I didn't expect to see until
Neither did I. Yeah,
especially with Bethesda saying we're doing our own thing. They announced Fallout 4. They just dropped a trailer on everybody,
and it was in engine. Yeah. It wasn't like a cinematic trailer.
And it looks nice. I think it looks good.
You're going to care about that dog.
My only gripe with the trailer, actually, is that I think that dog does not look very good.
Yeah, his
fur looks very fake.
His texturing is not great.
The rest of the game, I think, looks good, but the dog really stood out to me, and I was like, I like dogs, but that dog looks weird. The game's going to be set in Boston, which was the big rumor, which is now confirmed, I suppose. So that's tool. And beyond that, I don't know how much actual news there is about this.
There was, today they released a bunch of 4K images of the game.
More screenshots and things.
And they look gorgeous, but there isn't really much to say about them.
I mean, most of the screenshots and things we're seeing here are like things you expect to see in Fallout.
Yeah.
Weird robots, like rundown shanty towns, post-apocalypse shanty towns. There's a Deathclaw.
Yeah.
Diablo is here.
I always think it's funny that there's just like, they just look like demons.
They look like Diablo.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Just wandering around
the Lord of
Wasteland.
Terror. Just fucking hopping around. And there's some kind of crab thing, maybe.
We got some feral ghouls. Look great.
They look good. We got some power armor.
Yeah.
It looks like power armor. The thing that stood out the most to me about this, though, that I really like, is that it does not have a color filter over it. Fallout 3 had that kind of greenish color filter over the whole game, and New Vegas had kind of like a yellowy, tan kind of color filter over it. To kind of, it's to give it a certain atmosphere, kind of like when you see a film that has a color filter applied to it for that. But I like that with this one, it seems like they're just going with natural colors. They're not putting a major filter over everything. So you're going to see a lot more variety in the color in the world, which I think is great. And I think is a great way to show off the new graphical technology we have on these new consoles and everything, too. So I was really happy to see that we're not getting, Fallout 4 Gray Edition. I like the screenshots really do pop to me because of how much nice color and lighting is going on. Which, like I said, we haven't seen in the past couple of Fallout games.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing I noticed about the graphics from this trailer was the lighting. Really stood out to me.
Nice. And, it's yet to be seen how big the game world's going to be, or what the story is going to entail at all, but I'm sure it'll be cool.
So another game that got announced, to far less fanfare than Fallout.
XCOM 2.
Yeah, on June 1st, we...
I didn't even know about this one.
You didn't hear about it. I'm a huge fan of the XCOM reboot that they did a couple of years ago. I think it's amazing.
It was really well done.
So, when they were like, hey, trailer...
So somebody's excited.
I'm super excited. It's a cinematic trailer. We don't see any gameplay, which is a huge bummer. We see some hints at new enemy types, including a Cobra-type alien. That looks kind of fun.
That's cool. It's by 2K? They're under EA, right?
Yeah.
So do you think we'll see more of this at the EA press conference at E3, maybe?
Hopefully. That'd be great.
I would love to see some gameplay.
Yeah, I would love to see some gameplay.
I'm hoping that Bethesda does show off like a big gameplay demo of Fallout 4. Since they've announced it now and shown us a gameplay trailer, like an in-engine trailer.
Yeah, because you'd think that if all they had for us was the trailer...
They would save it.
They would save it for E3, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with this, probably. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot of these ones we're getting these trailers for now, we're going to see big gameplay show-offs of them at E3. I'm hoping at least.
A couple other things about XCOM 2, we know when it's going to come out, which is November.
So they actually gave it more or less a release window there.
Which is like really soon, considering we haven't seen any gameplay, but it's also...
I mean, if you think about it, though, it's been in development. It could have been in development for quite some time.
Probably, yeah.
And they just weren't saying anything about it. Because that game came out a few years ago now.
Yeah, so that is another strong argument for us seeing gameplay for it at E3.
Yeah.
It's going to come out for Mac. It's going to come out for PC. It's going to come out for Linux.
Look at that penguin.
That penguin's
He's down there right next to that jaguar.
that Jaguar's going to eat him. What is he doing there?
The Jaguar's going to look at it.
I like how the Mac symbol hasn't changed since like the 90s. Even though Apple products are like so much different now.
They're making too much money to worry about changing a logo.
I thought they had a new... I didn't think this was still the logo. That's so weird.
You can buy a new Mac logo for all your products for $99.99.
That's true.
It's covered by AppleCare, though, so don't worry.
Don't worry. If it breaks down, you can take it to one of the many Apple stores and then be accosted by hipsters. That's fun.
I cannot stand that place.
Well, moving on. Do you want to talk about this? Because
I do.
I didn't even say the name right.
It's my most favorite announcement. This is the best trailer that came out on May 31st. In Japan, a debut trailer for Monster Hunter Cross. That's cross.
It's cross in Japanese.
That's cross in Japanese. Cross.
But Dan, what does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
Oh, thank you.
The Katana Gang. Monster Hunter Cross has been announced. It is the next Monster Hunter game, obviously.
I hope so.
It is coming out this winter in Japan. Nothing has been said about a U.S. release. 4 Ultimate came out this past February. I'm still playing that game. Oh, so much stuff to do in it. So many monsters to hunt.
I didn't realize it was that long ago that it came out.
Yeah, and I'm still playing that game. I got like 500 hours logged in that game. You better believe it. If anyone wants to play with me online, my character's name is Quailman.
Good.
Find me sometime. And just to make sure it's me, my cat is named Spaghetti. So
I'm gonna name you Killer.
I want to be named Spaghetti. And he wears a little bandito outfit.
Of course.
So this game, it's unclear if this is going to come out in the U.S. They skipped Monster Hunter 4 in the United States, and just went for 4 Ultimate, which is an expanded version. Because Monster Hunter is kind of like Japan's Call of Duty. They get one every year because they love it and they always buy it, and it's great. We in the West, it's not as big over here, so they don't always release every single one. So I'm wondering if this will be coming out for us sometime next year, or if there's going to be some expanded version of Cross at some point. Like Monster Hunter Triple Cross.
Monster Hunter Triple X.
Triple X. XXX.
AO rating.
No streaming on Twitch. These monsters are too hot for Twitch TV. But either way, I'm really excited about it. So the cool information that came with this one is for the first time ever, normally the games are launched and they have a flagship monster. So a brand new monster that's really cool and is like, they sell the game with it. He's on the cover. It's like you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but you're a dragon. And that's how they kind of, like, they introduce new monsters that way and, like, make a big deal out of it. This game is going to have 4 new monsters as flagships. This cool beetle dragon thing that shoots lightning, a giant woolly mammoth, a weird foofy-looking China dragon monster that shoots bubbles at you that make you slippery. It looks really goofy. And, what's the other one? Oh, and this big, like, T-Rex dude with a sword tail, and he can grind his tail between his jaws to heat it up. And then, like, slap you with the superheated tail blade. It looks super crazy. And then additionally, they're adding a whole new thing with the weapons where in addition to picking your weapon type, which there are like 14 of now, and I'll play totally differently, you can pick one of 4 different weapon styles that are going to change, depending on which weapon you're using, they're going to change the moveset of that weapon up. One of the styles is the classic moveset that is in the games now, but then there's other ones so you can tweak them. And all of the weapons, some of the weapons in the game have super moves right now. All of the weapons are getting super moves now. And there's going to be multiple super moves to choose from for each weapon type as well. So they're doing a lot on that end. There's going to be new areas. There's a whole new, like, campaign thing to go through in it. It honestly looks like a much bigger game than I would have expected it to be, especially if there is going to be another one. So this might be it. And some people think that this is their big send-off for the 3DS, because the next Monster Hunter title will be on whatever handheld Nintendo does next. And that this is the last 3DS Monster Hunter.
This 3DS is such an old handheld.
I know, right? Well, the original 3DS is now.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Think about it. This game, however, will be available for the regular and the new 3DS. You don't need to have a new 3DS XL to play it. So, you know what I mean. Monster Hunter! I love it! You should too. Play it.
Winter 2015.
Winter 2015. Play that cat sound. It's applicable.
You already talked about this?
Yeah, it's just tied in with the other stuff.
Talk about a sequel to a successful franchise.
Very successful. So successful we got an international release. Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating sim. This holiday, or no, the sequel's called Holiday Star.
Nice.
And this fall, it's coming out, and you can date even more birds than before.
We found out about this on June 4th, yesterday, and we couldn't have been happier.
So this game is a visual novel where you date and befriend various birds.
But one of them is a serial killer.
Only in the first game. They're not going to pull that again.
Oh, good. I was worried.
One of them's also a sorcerer.
I hope they pull that again.
These games are goofy, but they're interesting. If you want to play something really, really weird and Japanese, just go for it.
Totally.
Like, this game's super cheap. It's on Steam, and it'll have you laughing. It's absolutely meant to be taken, like, in a fun, goofy way.
Did they give a window for this?
This fall. I don't think they've said anything beyond that. Game's currently available. Hatoful Boyfriend is currently available on Steam and will launch for PS4 and Vita this summer.
Oh.
And then this sequel is coming out sometime in the fall. But beyond that, we do not know. The sequel will be coming out on PC, PS4, and Vita all at the same time. So you can play your pigeon dating sim on the go. With your PlayStation Vita.
Excellent.
And justify the purchase of that Vita.
Hey, if Bloodstained comes out on the Vita...
That's also a good thing to grab.
Yeah.
Speaking
of silly Japanese games...
Next week, this is from June 4th on Polygon, next week we're getting the updated version of the Final Fantasy 15 demo.
Because, as we recall, a lot of people had a lot of problems with the Final Fantasy demo, including a character that might have been too sexy.
Do you think they're going to make Cindy less sexy?
Only time will tell, but we'll be reporting on it. So they took in, we know that they did this whole conference where they took in a bunch of feedback on the demo,
right.
And I guess they're releasing an update to the demo. I don't think that's why the people, like, that's not what you're supposed to do with the feedback. You're supposed to incorporate that into the game.
Right. But they want to show us that they can make a really good demo that we're really going to like.
Great.
I talked about this when we last talked about Final Fantasy XV's demo, and how little faith I have in this game at this point. And this kind of only reinforces it.
Well, it feels like stall tactics.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, here's your better demo. Keep playing it.
Keep playing it. The game's going to come out eventually.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a bit too much at this point, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling like they really have it together with their development of this game. Like, I think they really want us to think that they do, but nothing that I've seen for this game has shown me or made me think that they are on the right track for making this game, like, really, really work. So, I am curious what this updated version of the demo will be like, but I'm not hopeful. And at this point, I feel like Cindy's sexiness is the only thing they have going for them, so they better not change it. Yeah. So if you really like Final Fantasy 15 demo the first time, look forward to it next time. Hopefully you'll still be able to go to weird barbecues in the woods with lawn chairs and regular people wearing polo shirts in your anime protagonist trench coat. Oh. The game is like, it's like a weird commentary. You just like, where you get to be that really embarrassing cosplay guy who thinks he's super cool, but he's just in a regular world where everyone's kind of like, oh god, look at this weirdo coming over here again. Like that dude who bought a katana because he thought it would make him like really cool.
Oh no.
And then he makes videos and puts them on YouTube of him like cutting water jugs in half with it. That's what Final Fantasy 15 is. It's that guy.
Oh no.
Here, why don't you take us into this next article?
Alright, this is a super interesting thing that just happened with Steam. We actually have a couple stories on Steam today, but this one is from June 2nd, and this is from our Kotaku article. But we find out that Steam is going to be offering refunds, or is now offering refunds, for games. So, if you bought a game on Steam and you immediately had buyer's remorse...
surely not for Hatoful Boyfriend.
Surely not. But if Final Fantasy 15 ever comes out on Steam, you probably will.
Don't worry about it, you're all set.
So, you can return that game for however much you paid for it, which is probably very little.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is great. It really, I think it allows people to try new stuff more. Which is Steam's reason for wanting to do this. And the caveats to it are you have to have owned the game for less than 14 days.
And played it for less than
2 hours.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I think the 2 hours thing could be a little longer.
Depends on the game.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
If you're playing like a super long RPG, then yeah, that may not be enough time to really gauge if you like it a lot or not. Mm-hmm. But I feel like most games, 2 hours is enough to get enough of a feel for it that you know whether or not you really want it or not. And maybe with a big strategy game, it's not quite enough.
Yeah.
Like if I were to buy like a Total War game, mm-hmm. I don't think that would be enough time to really judge how much I like it, but
the quote from Valve's frequently asked questions goes like this. Refunds are designed to remove the risk from purchasing titles on Steam, not as a way to get free games. If it appears to us that you are abusing refunds, we may stop offering them to you. We do not consider it abuse to request a refund on a title that was purchased just before a sale, and then immediately rebuying that title for the sale price. That's interesting.
That is really interesting. So obviously they're going to be paying attention and making sure people don't exploit this.
And especially since like a lot of the midweek madness sales, you wouldn't necessarily see those coming at all. So
this is really cool in light of the summer sales. Coming up too. So it's nice to know that if you buy something on sale or buy something before the summer sales, because you just really want it, you don't know if it's going to go on sale or not. As long as you buy it like right before they start, within those 2 weeks, and then it goes on sale. you can sell it back and get it for cheap again, which is nice.
So good job, Steam. This was probably a good idea. Oh, I also like how the way they say that. They're like, hey, and if you're abusing this, we will take it away from you.
Yeah. And I like it's a straight ahead, honest, like, don't mess with it. Just don't.
So Steam has lots of good ideas, but sometimes they have bad ideas. Or ideas we're not so sure about.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on these.
We have an article from June 4th from Polygon entitled The First Official Steam Machines Hit October 16th on Store Shelves November 10th.
Steam machines are coming.
We did a whole big segment on Steam machines when they first debuted.
Yeah.
The 20 different ones.
Yeah, these are console-like computers designed to run Valve's Steam software and its thousands of PC games.
And their specs are nuts for a lot of them. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing we found out when they finally got shown is that there's 30 of them.
Yeah.
And they run the price range from $300 to $6,000. It's nuts.
And some of them are really sleekly designed, and a lot of them aren't.
Really dumb.
Yeah, they look bad.
They look toaster ovens.
Just about all of them are going to come with Steam's controller, which looks amazing. And
yeah, their controller's super neat.
And all reports say it functions amazingly. I'm actually going to buy one as soon as those come out.
Yeah, I mean, it'd just be great as a gamepad for if you already just have a PC, and even if you don't plan on getting a Steam machine, it seems like it's going to work really well as a PC gamepad.
Yeah.
For anything you want to use it for. So that's great. The Steam machines will run Steam OS, a Linux variant with their big picture mode interface. While they'll be limited to games with Linux compatibility, the systems will be able to play any game purchased on Steam by streaming it from another local PC or Mac. Meanwhile, they're working to add direct Linux support to as many games as possible. At launch, between 1,000 and 1,200 games will be natively supported, according to Dell and Valve officials. So here they actually start at $449. It's a little more than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
This article specifically talks about the Alienware one a bit.
Which is probably one of the better looking ones of the bunch. Not in terms of price point and in terms of design and everything.
Another interesting thing about these, unlike consoles, is that aside from the graphics card and motherboard, the rest of it is upgradable.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because they basically are computers.
Yeah, you can upgrade the processor and the RAM and the storage space and other things like that in them, which is pretty cool and different. But we're looking at the specs right now, and you can see that each step up really does come with better processors, more RAM, pretty much the kind of thing you'd expect if you were buying a computer.
Max is only 8 gigabytes, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Of RAM, and it starts with a Intel Core i3,
but upgradable,
and it becomes an i7 at the highest price point. I don't know how many RAM slots it has. That would be interesting if you could just throw more chips in.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm also curious what RAM and stuff it's actually compatible with, because that's going to depend on what motherboards they're using to make these.
It tells us DDR3, but not much else.
Yeah, because that's the standard now. But I know when I was upgrading my computer recently, I had some trouble finding the exact compatible RAM I wanted within that. With the motherboard that I got. So, curious how that's going to go.
Wasn't one of the really big Steam machines, the really high price point ones, didn't have a 2 terabyte solid state memory hard drive or something?
$6,000 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one also looked really snazzy. Its design was super nice and its specs were absurd.
What do you want to talk about next? Actually, do you want to talk about this next? Because it seems like it's a
and then
big
we have
deal.
a bunch of news about games.
Yeah.
So, Gamestop recently acquired the website ThinkGeek after beating out Hot Topic's purchase offer.
Neither of those buyers are people I want to buy ThinkGeek, but I guess...
but it was happening. So.
I can't think of who's the lesser of two evils in that scenario, Hot Topic or GameStop.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. GameStop is more evil, I think.
Hot Topic's just more dumb. Yeah.
But yeah, so ThinkGeek is now owned by GameStop, apparently. Does this mean that they will turn evil now? Maybe.
They'll probably just start overcharging you for everything.
Yeah. So for $140 million, which beat out the $122 million offer they got last week from pop culture retailer Hot Topic. Hot Topic is being paid a termination fee coming from GameStop. So they basically were saying that they're expanding GameStop's revenue stream by adding the #1 brand in fast-growing collectibles category. It also talked up GeekNet's established portfolio of premier hard-to-secure licenses. So I do know, from having friends who work at GameStop still, that they have replaced some of the old store displays and moved on from doing iDevices and are now selling loot, which is stuff like pop vinyl figures and comic books and like toys, video game toys and things like that a lot more.
Which makes them more like a Newbury Comics, which if you're in the US and the Northeast, you've probably experienced before. Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff that they have.
Acquisition makes a lot of sense from that standpoint, because if they're pushing this new wing of their business in stores already, then this is going to give them access to a bunch more exclusive merchandise that they can then sell in their stores.
Totally. And obviously they're trying to change up the way their stores work because they've been experiencing some downward numbers in the past couple of years. Mostly,
so they're scrambling to find things to boost their profits a bit.
Yeah. Basically. I actually figured when they first were like, let's move toward iDevices, I figured that would help them out, but I'm surprised it didn't.
It's really petered off. I mean, you've hit the point where basically all they have, since they take pre-owned stuff, is a bunch of iPod shuffles that no one wants, and like generations outdated iPhones that no one wants.
Yeah.
So the problem is that after the initial rush of a couple years, they don't have anything that anyone actually wants, as far as iDevices go. And I think that Apple has started offering some better upgrade deals for that stuff as well.
And a lot of cell phone carriers will often offer like really good deals for upgrading your smartphone.
Right. So GameStop has kind of lost their edge here in most situations, for most purposes.
They kind of got to that party a little too late to make money on it. So hopefully this will work for them. I mean, I
don't hope so. I hope that they crash and burn. This is me speaking as someone who used to work there.
It's interesting though that this is their second attempt at moving away from focusing on games.
Yeah, and you see this a lot though with any kind of specialty thing like this. Eventually, I mean, look at G4 TV, which is now gone.
Yeah,
but it started as a video game channel, slowly became a video game and tech channel. And then became a Cops Marathon 24/7.
Cops Marathons.
Before it was just over.
Yeah.
It was cops, Attack of the Show, cops, and then cops, and cops.
There was an Attack of the Show rerun somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
I think X-Play lasted up until the end, too.
Pretty close, too.
Because besides Attack of the Show, that was their other big
I just remember every time I switched to that channel, it was cops.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever caught anything but cops in the last couple years of G4's lifespan.
It's too bad. It was too bad.
So this could be the beginning of GameStop's Cops Marathon.
It's interesting, though, because we see video games aren't going away. People love them.
No.
They're only expanding, really. It's just that a lot of these traditional companies, like a traditional television channel or a brick-and-mortar store, don't know how to capitalize on games.
Right.
And they are desperately trying to figure out how to capitalize on other stuff instead of trying to figure out a way to capitalize on games.
Yeah.
Is
that the right decision?
I don't. It doesn't really make sense.
I mean, I'm not much of a business analyst, so I can't really say. But on the one hand, I guess it makes sense because maybe they feel like there's not a good way to capitalize on games better. But at the same time, there probably is.
The thing is, if you're a company and you want to sell video games, because, that's what GameStop is.
Yeah.
Originally, anyway. And you see everything going to online distribution, why don't you start a Steam-type service?
Right.
That would be the obvious step, but for some reason they just decided
GameStop
not to do that.
GameStop doesn't deal in PC games.
Well, that's true.
You can get a PC game at GameStop if you pre-order it. or if you're lucky enough to just find one magically. Like, they don't stock PC games for the most part. They don't take them in trade for obvious reasons because of the CD keys and stuff.
Yeah.
But in PC games, even back when I was there, were not, which was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't been at a GameStop. Actually, I've like stopped in GameStops recently, but I haven't actually been at a GameStop to browse in like 10 years. And I remember when I was in there, they did have PC games, which is why it was a really long time ago.
I mean, even back when I started working there, which was a little over 6 years now, they had nothing as far as PC game selection. We had a Warcraft battle chest and a bunch of stuff no one wanted.
Yeah.
Was basically it.
Yeah, it's super interesting to me that they didn't try to go to some sort of online model.
I mean, you see good old games doing that now, too.
Yeah, because like now if GameStop wanted to try and go to an online model, it's too late. That market is cornered. They can't do that.
No. Now that Good Old Games has moved in to compete with Steam and stuff, like, that's it. Nobody else is going to muscle their way in there right now.
So I guess GameStop will just become like a knick-knack store.
Sure.
Pretty much.
A hipster store. They'll just become Hot Topic.
They'll become Hot Topic. So some game announcements
potential announcements.
Yeah, to round out the show.
Dark Souls 3 will allegedly be announced at E3 in a move that surprises probably very few people.
Yeah, that surprises no one.
The game's been out for a few years now. It sold the best of any of the Souls games. So it's no surprise that they're making another one. And also, its director's cut updated version came out April 2nd. The director of the first of Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, Miyazaki, did Bloodborne recently, which is awesome, but was PS4 exclusive, not connected to Dark Souls or Demon Souls, technically. But all the games have been met with positive reception by both press and gamers. In my personal opinion, Dark Souls 2 is the weakest of the 4 games that I would kind of lump together here. So I'm curious if Miyazaki... Oh, it does say. The game will be headed by Miyazaki, director of the original Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne. So he supervised Dark Souls 2, which was directed by 2 other people, Tomohiro Shibuya and Yui Tanimura. The 2 of them were kind of new hands at game directing, and it shows. Dark Souls 2 was very much put together by not the more experienced dev teams at From Software. Especially once we learned more about Bloodborne, it came out that Miyazaki and his team were more working on Bloodborne during all that time. Hence probably why Bloodborne feels much more polished and much more like the other 2 games. Dark Souls 2 was lacking in some ways. So, knowing now that Miyazaki is going to be in charge of it, I'm really much more excited, actually. Not to say Dark Souls 2 is bad. It's a great game. It's just lacking a certain je ne sais quoi that the other 3 have. What would you say? It's the French. The certain I don't know what.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'll speak French as much as I want. And Japanese. I'll speak every language.
Just stick to the Japanese.
It's lacking a certain shiranai that I can't put my finger on. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, this seems less, it seems like a pretty legit rumor, but as that article said, Konami hasn't responded to their request. They're asking about it yet.
And Konami does suck pretty bad these days.
They sure do.
They sure do. Arcade machines. Okay.
Gambling machine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Arcade gambling machines.
Yeah. So back a while ago, Nintendo did a bunch of game announcements, including one for a Project Treasure, which was the most vague game announcement I've seen in quite some time.
That's a vague title.
Yeah, a guy in a suit was like, well, this is Project Treasure. It's a team-based action treasure hunting game. You'll play as one of 4 characters. Look forward to it. And then he left.
Get excited.
Get excited. And nobody got excited. This game in a Japan-only Nintendo Direct that happened... Was it today? No, it was June 1st. When it finally showed some gameplay. It's a free-to-play third-person adventure game on the Wii U. Bandai Namco's making it. And there's a little video up for it now that you can watch. I don't think it looks particularly remarkable. I watched the video, and I think, it looks like a third-person action treasure hunting game. But beyond that, I guess I'm not really much more excited than I was when I saw the initial announcement about it. But what can you expect with free-to-play? I suppose. Not like that Splatoon.
People love it.
People
love it so much they robbed a truck full of
Splatoons.
Yeah, full of Splatoons.
Inklings.
That was actually super interesting news that happened, I think, last week.
Yeah.
But in the UK, a guy robbed a truck full of Splatoons that were packaged with the super rare squid.
Yes.
Amiibo.
Yes.
Because they were like special editions, I think.
I think it only came in the bundle pack, I think.
That might, yeah.
You had to get the bundle pack of all 3 Splatoon Amiibos to get the squid.
So yeah, there was... So people assume that that person is like gonna probably sell the Amiibos on eBay because you can probably make like a ton of money that way.
Oh yeah, totally.
But there's also like I think a valid question to be asked as to whether that person knew what was in that truck or not. Because it's not like it was obvious. It was probably like an unmarked truck.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, like maybe the guy was just stealing the truck because he like needed to steal a vehicle.
He needs to steal something.
Yeah, and then when he saw the video, he was just like, whatever, and he just...
Oh, look at all these little squid children action figures.
And he's like, I think it would be hilarious if that person like didn't know what they were, and was just like whatever, and just drove the truck into a ditch when he ditched the vehicle,
or just like dumped all of them in the ocean.
Yeah, it would be like the next ET.
Yeah, the lost Splatoon Amiibos at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. That would be great.
What is this thing?
This is another Kickstarter. That aims to follow the world's best Pokemon players in a feature-length documentary.
To be the very best.
It's going to be called To Be the Very Best. Spearheaded by national champion Wolf Glick. That guy's got a name.
Yeah.
And it's seeking $50,000 in funding to make this movie. These top competitors go beyond merely beating the Elite Four and completing their Pokedexes by testing their skills against the best the world has to offer in official Pokemon tournaments. Now, I know that Pokemon tournaments are like a thing. Beyond that, I don't really know much.
Oh, this is not happening.
But by the looks of it, yeah, this isn't happening. They have 14 days left, and they're at $9,600 out of $50,000. I'm actually kind of disappointed because this sounds like it could be kind of interesting.
And I figured there would be more of a community response to this. It's only got 188 backers, which is like nothing for a project like this.
That's surprising, because, I mean, you look at these pictures, like, this is a thing. Like, there are Pokemon World Championships. Like, I know you don't hear about them much, but they're real.
They're real.
Like, look at this.
Look at those convention centers.
Look at that stuff. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, check this out on Kickstarter. So it's just To Be the Very Best.
Yeah, and they lay out their whole budget for it.
Looks reasonable. Half of it's going to filming.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It looks pretty, decent. And I think this would make a really interesting documentary, actually.
Look at that director with his camera.
Look at him. He's directing.
Ah.
He's directing right now. He's doing it. So I wanted to put this out there because I feel like there's probably plenty of Pokemon fans out there that maybe just don't even know about this and would want to see it happen. And personally, if it gets made, I'd watch it. I'm curious. But yeah, there you go. To Be the Very Best by Wolf Glick. Find it on Kickstarter.
There's in terms of video game releases,
yes,
we actually got an announcement for a release date for Mighty Number 9,
which, as I recall, was originally not until very recently still said to be coming out in May for quite some time.
But it's September 15th. They gave us a definite date.
Yep.
So we will see it then, and we will see if it is really the successor that Mega Man deserves.
I'm gonna say, from the gameplay I've watched, not that impressed. impressed.
Neither am I. But at the same time, I know that it's like the developer is really good.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on the edge about it.
My big issue actually just comes from the fact that the game looks like it has very little sense of weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in it looks very kind of floaty and soft. Like there's nothing satisfying about shooting the enemies by the looks of it or anything. So I'm wondering if that's going to be changed in the final version, or maybe the videos just don't do it justice. But I have high hopes for it. But I haven't really been impressed by what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Especially compared to other high-profile Kickstarter games we've seen come out or be coming out soon.
So stuff that's coming out within the next week. Today, D4 for Windows.
Dark Dreams Don't Die. Play that. Play it so that Swery can make another one. Play it so he can make more episodes. It's so good. You don't even know how weird that game is.
On the 9th, the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited, which is
PS4 X-Bound version?
Yes, of just the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Which is free to play now. I keep meaning to check it out because it's free to play.
Yep. Adventures of Pip on the Wii U.
On the 11th, yep.
That was a Kickstarter game, I believe.
Oh, cool.
If not Kickstarter, it's an indie title of some kind. It looks kind of cool.
Dr. Mario Miracle Cure.
3DS, The Glorious Return of Dr. Mario.
Excellent.
And on the 12th, Lego Jurassic World.
You've all been waiting for it, I know.
Well, the cool thing about it is that it actually includes the other 3 movies as well.
Oh, sweet.
It's actually a Lego game of all 4 now Jurassic Park movies.
Sweet.
So that's actually super cool.
Yeah.
Initially when I heard about it, I was like, oh, okay, it's for the new movie. But then I found out it's got the other 3 movies. That's great. That's so cool. That's much more content. I like it. I can play as Ian Malcolm. Play as little Lego Jeff Goldblum all day.
Life's gonna find a way.
You can play as Muldoon and beat those raptors. It'll be great.
Alright, so, we are just about done here. This has been Don't Copy That Floppy on www.chipbit.net. We are a weekly video game news podcast broadcasting live Fridays, 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on lots of social media, including Facebook,
Twitter,
YouTube,
iTunes,
Steam.
That's all.
That's all of them.
We'll be back next week with more news. That's the week before E3, so there might not be a whole lot to talk about.
But then after that,
the week after that,
we're gonna have an E3 special.
It'll be great. So until next time, remember,
don't copy that floppy. That floppy. That floppy.